Welcome to the climax of the fall 2025 season. Welcome to session 6. I am John Mahjong. I am joined by Nathaniel, and we are also joined by our four great players in the C2 division, playing it out to determine some of their finishing positions. How are we doing, Nathaniel?
Doing very well. Looking forward to seeing Session 6 action. It is the most exciting part of the year, and the conditions make things really fun to watch.
Taking a look at our standings going into this game. We have Reethi very solidly in the promotion zone. Viravan is Virvan. How would I say that name?
Oh, we got some tough ones in this division. I'm not sure. We'll do the best we can.
V. V is looking to get into that promotion zone, albeit I bet that line moves down a little bit. Nick and Thomason are very much looking in now from the outside the promotion zone, but they could work their way up a little bit.
And we have moved into East 2. Mr. Ricci, aptly named, in the lead.
Rhythm, Mr. Ricci. That's got to be 10 pi for that's got to be 10 pi for V waiting on the 3-6 mon. Kind of a weird. Oh well, the 3 mon comes out, deals into V. Sean Nomi 1300 points gets passed over, more like 1600 with the Honba. Going into East 3 now, we're gonna have Nick as the dealer.
Yeah, Nick, currently at 25-1, but just early days here in this game. Plenty of time to make something happen.
Triplet of Souths falling into Mr. Ricci's hand. That is not the seat win, nor is it the prevalent win. Gonna be a little bit annoying to work with, albeit maybe you don't have to worry about the pair now.
Yeah, you can just follow your Tenho handle, just Ricci, when you've got that triplet of South.
Gonna take a moment to highlight some of the usernames that we've got going around this table. We have Thomason as the movie man, probably great enjoyer of movies, would love to ask what their favorite movies are. Rithi as Mr. Ricci, that is a very good username. Nick as Echo Day, and V as Jewy301.
Yeah,
Any personal favorites from this list?
I mean, obviously, Mr. Ricci is quite fantastic. Movie Man, gonna have to get some recommendations. I'm not hip to the cinema scene that much, so.
There was an interesting discard by Thomason just now. I think keeping the 3-pin would have been 10 pi waiting for Pinfu, but Thomason threw it back out.
Yeah, maybe looking to force Tanya out of this.
Well, actually, that is 10 pi waiting on the 6-pin, but it is going to be Dama for a bit.
Yeah, certainly. It's pretty classic to just slam Ricci Pinfu with a Dora, waiting 1-4 pin, and cutting the 7-pin instead. But this is Tanya, Dora, and I think the real draw that Thompson's looking for is the 8-pin for Sanchoku Pinfu and all of the other goods as well. So maybe a little bit of greed on display from Thompson, who desperately needs points in the current positions. Of course, finds that Sumo. So no 50-10 Ricci, no funny business, just taking the win.
Sumo Tanya Dora 1000 2000. Interesting decision to not slam the stick, but given Thomason's position and minus 355.3, Thomason's gonna have to go for some big hands to salvage anything out of this season.
And I really do like that idea from Thomason, especially if you're going for big time points. And one suggestion I have, if you are in a spot where, you know, winning 3 Han is not going to be good enough, but winning Mongon will, is after you draw that 6-pin, well, before you draw the 6-pin, make sure your auto win button is off. Then after you draw that 6-pin, declare Shuri-ten 3-sided Ricci. Then if you draw 8-pin, you get potentially a Hanuman or better. But big hand brewing for Thomason now. Forces the door, and it's paired up in the hand.
Absolute insane Ricci theory discussing throwing back a winning hand. I mean, when you're in that desperate of a situation, I guess it is something you have to consider going for.
That's part of why I love Session 6, because you get to think about these things that you normally wouldn't be able to, and creates all sorts of fun positions. So props to Thomason for even considering that line. Thinking about
Lots of
the chi into Tenpai, Otosuke Tenpai waiting for the White Dragon to clean that. Lets it go, might be greeting for Arichi instead.
lots of players just kind of stuck in 2 Shanten or 1 Shanten waiting for their very specific tiles. That's got to complete a 5-6-7 shape, moving Nick into E Shanten. That is perfect E Shanten, actually. Could take 2 pin, 5 pin, 3-6 pin, or 5-8, so always love to see that in your hand. 4-5-6 shape for V, but gotta cut away with the 8 so, breaking up that 8-6 shape. And that is 10 pi for Nick. Throw down the stick, waiting on the 5-8 so.
Looks like there are only 3 tiles left in the wall for this wait. Ricci only as well, but points are good, as they say. Any points.
V is just gonna need a couple points, maybe 20 or so, to move up into that promotion spot, passing Calvin.
And this is where things get really exciting because, you know, even if this series ends with Revan in the lead, Calvin still has 4 games to play, could chase down that advantage. So you got to also consider the likelihood that other players in the standings go up or down. In some of the divisions, it's easier to make a judgment on that. You can sort of make guesses as to, you know, based off of play styles and other things, but it's really up in the air when all these players, a lot of these players are playing their first time in Armel here in the C2 division.
Mr. Ricci with a bit of a decision here, gonna drop the 2. Oh, so we're looking at V with a potential shot towards E Peiko. Gotta go for it, dropping the 5 pin. Ricci by V, waiting on the 5 mon. 5 mon is each player around the table has 1 copy of it, so it's gonna have to come from Ron, come out of someone's hand if someone decides to discard it.
In the meantime, 5-8 so until that 8 so that's just pulled in by Mr. Ricci himself, it was still buried in the wall and pulls it off 5 so as well. So they're just very deep in the wall.
Gonna have to make a decision here. That 5 mon is looking awfully lonely by itself. Gotta drop the 2 so instead. Very safe play. And 6 so comes out. Ryukyoku for V and Nick, and V gets to keep their dealership.
All right, so 2 Ricci sticks, a repeat counter as well to bump up the value. Not a bad hype by here. 1 completed shape already and a couple of partially completed sequences. The 7-8 pin diamond and the 3-4 so diamond are quite strong. They have great floaters as well, so I'd be very optimistic as the dealer. Towards the east, there's 1 on the right. And it looks like that hand has a few blocks yet to find, but we'll probably hold the door for a while. Across the table, Mr. Ricci with 2 diamond shapes as well. And the Mons do 2-3 and 5-6 Mon overlap a bit. They both accept the 4 Mon, so that weakens it a little bit, but still doing all right there. Potentially 1-2-3 Sanchoku now. And on the left, Nick has 1 completed shape, and we have a pair and 3 diamond. Actually, another shape completed as we speak, so just Ishanten already.
Ishanten already. I'm looking at V's hand. Looking like potential for one of my favorite combos, Ricci Pinfu Tanyao.
Eat.
Oh, as expected though,
Ricci
Nick gets there first.
Ricci by Nick waiting on the 1-4 so. That 7 so could send a little bit of a negative message, drawing the 1-4 to be drawn or dropped even quicker. There's the 1 so dropped by Thomason, run by Nick. Ricci, Ipatsu, Pinfu.
Ooh.
And the Ura hits. 8,000, gotta be an 11,000 bump to Nick. Nick goes to 33,900 points. And we're halfway through this game. Thomason is the dealer.
Yeah, that was a pretty big Uda there for Nick, who is hoping to climb the standing in the positives right now, but you can never be too far away from one of those potential bonus promotion spots.
I feel like playing in the C2 division, that promotion line is going to move down quite a bit, whereas if you're playing in A1, hoping to see that relegation line move down, nope, not going to happen.
Unfortunately. We do have a call, though, on the right. The opening. It is White Dragons, but potential with a Dora Foramon available to fit into that hand for a little extra value.
I gotta imagine if Mr. Ricci draws an additional pair, maybe there's a shot towards Toy Toy.
It's slightly unlikely, but if you draw a pair, you can start with a 9-so cut. Even now, a 9-so cut is acceptable. And then if you get to call pulling on one of the tough tiles, then you can get there.
We have Nick with a quadruplet of East tiles, but isn't calling the con quite yet.
Yeah, when will we see the con?
I imagine if you're not gonna con, you just throw out one of the Easts.
That can happen. I mean, it's oftentimes common to con when you are maybe you're looking for Rinshan. A lot of times you con from Ishanten, one away from Tenpai. And that is actually the case here, although you're looking for a pair, which makes things awkward. Because you need a pair, you can even drop out of the East twice. Like we can con now, and then Ricci on the 6-9 pin.
Ricci.
Oh, waits on the 8 instead.
Waits on the 8 instead, keeping that Ipeiko. There's 2 chances at Ura for Nick here.
Yeah, maybe he just wants to lock in Ipeiko here. Ricci, East, Ipeiko is already going to be a Mongon with all of this bonus Fu. 32 Fu for a closed con of honor tiles.
Always a massive event when it happens when you have 3 Han Mongon.
And that also means it's a little bit harder to turn this into a Hanuman, because even if you hit Ura 2, you're still not getting there. Unless you
one of the 8 Mons falls into Thomason's hand, and that's going to fit in very nicely. So there's only one more 8 Mon left in the wall somewhere. If I had to take a wild guess, it's probably sitting underneath that 4 pin in the dead wall.
That's always the case for me. If I take an awkward weight like a Shaba weight, the Uda indicator is always my tile, because that means I won't hit any Uda either. I'm losing. Oh, but he finds it. Wow.
Nick draws the last 8 Mon himself. Ricci, Sumo, Ipeiko, Ura 2!
Wow. Okay.
Forget the 3 Han Mongon, just take the full 5 Han Mongon instead. 2,000, 4,000. Nick goes above 40,000. Gotta be making big moves after this game. Wow.
Looks like we paused a little bit there. Let's refresh there. Mr. Ricci, a lot of has a triplet of the North. Are we going to see another one of those cons? There is a North in the wall somewhere.
Triplet of the North, but still gonna have to go for something of substance. There's a potential move by V towards Honitsu. That's what's kind of being told to me with that 2-so drop. Well, now the 5/6s grouped together are gonna start chucking the West and building a somewhat respectable hand.
You say that as if Honitsu isn't a respectable hand. I see.
I draw... I go for Honitsu maybe like once every 4 hands or so. I'm a sucker for Honitsu.
I gotta admit, same. But this is a little awkward actually with the White Dragon pair. That means that you can't get Pifu if you end up with sequence shapes. And yeah, is even gonna pass this. I like this decision. This hand is gonna be worth so much more as a Ricci. If you had a pair, maybe you could consider that. But oh, this is beautiful. Now the Chun can come out, or even the 7 Mon, and just gonna force the issue here. I kind of like holding the 7 because if I draw the 8 Mon, I want to be able to play the Ricci towards the Dora.
Instead, it looks like V is going to be taking routes towards Itsu. That is a draw of the Pinzu, but not one of the right Pinzus. Going to need 4 or 6 to land in their hand there.
Yeah, technically anything 3 through 7 will give a Tenpai, but you really, really want the 4 or the 6 for the potential Itsu. If you hit the 5 pin, that's okay as well, because you can end up on the sneaky Haku weight. Any of the Kanchan weights, I just feel sad. 3 pin or 7 pin draw.
Ricci by Rethi waiting on the 6 Mon only. 2 6 Mons are in 2 of our hands. There's 1 more 6 Mon left in the wall. Why not draw it yourself?
I'm really interested in Toyman here. Are they going to play Haku Haku if they draw a 4-pin or 6-pin, or are they going to take the gamble pushing 5-so or 8-so against this dealer Ricci?
Well, that's an auto drop of the Dora 9-mon. That's not going to be a call by Nick, who has a pair of the 9-mons.
It's kind of far with the 3-so being thrice out. Yeah, gotta let that one go.
Could just build a hand instead. That 4-pin looks to complete the 5-6 shape. It's gotta start cutting away from that 8-9.
All right, here we go. 5-so pair. That means you can. Oh no, just takes the Tempai.
Ricci waiting for the 5-so Haku. There's one Haku still floating around somewhere.
Third copy of the 6-mon drawn on the right. Only one left in the wall for dealer. 2
Green
tiles.
Dragon gets auto dropped. And the hand is going to be broken up by Nick.
Yeah, it's not such a bad attempt to fight for the Tempai because the 5-pin is Nakasuji in the middle of the 2-pin in the 5-pin that was discarded by the dealer. So you could maybe expect that to go through a lot of the times. The weight really looks for that last white dragon. Oh, but the 5-so instead gets that.
5-so gets auto dropped. Nick is going to win that hand. Ricci, Nomi. 1300.
Yeah, Robin now pulls
Gotta
above.
be a win by V, not Nick.
That's right, over 30,000 points now. Of course, if you finish the game over 30,000, you will get a positive score.
That feels like something Will Buxton would say if he was following American Ricci Mahjong League. If you finish your game above 30,000, you will gain points.
It's true. I mean, it's important in close point situations, where you just need to not be negative, not drop in the standings, to just aim for that 30,000 point mark. Nick now, as the dealer, holding a Dora 2-so, and aiming for a Ricci. Looks like 3 pairs in hands, a little bit awkward, but the 5-6-6 can slim down into a sequence, trimming away one of those 6-so on the right colorable hand, but looks like it could end up being a pin flush, perhaps. It really doesn't have to be, but the shapes are a bit awkward, so it could turn into that. The 5-so might change our minds. Crossway Thompson, a lot of pin tiles as well, but probably aim for the Ricci, especially using the Dora 2-so. On the left, 2 of the Dora 2-so in hand. Maybe you can play toward the Tanya being able to open, but also any Ricci is good there too.
Well, there's a triplet of the north that is neither the seed wind nor the prevalent wind. V draws a triplet of the green dragons that is neither the prevalent dragon nor the seed dragon, but it scores Yakuhai anyway, so can start calling this hand. 6-so comes out, is not gonna call it, gotta try to put together a closed hand with this triplet of green dragons, boost the value a little bit there.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if this hand stays closed all the way, or if we end up opening something that we desperately need, like a 3-pin maybe, if that comes out, or maybe 2-pin pull, something along those lines.
It is row 1, so you are allowed to be a little bit optimistic about your hand. Maybe starting to get through halfway to row 2. Ricci by Nick waiting on the 3-so.
That is a Dora adjacent tile, so it's tricky to expect that. Oh, but Ipatsumo!
Drops himself! Ricci, Ipatsu Sumo, Dora, that is 4. Mongon, dealer Mongon, gotta take 4,000 from everybody.
Wow.
Nick, over 50,000. Praise the Sanzo.
And now we have to talk about the fact that if you are the only player over 50,000 points, you gain an extra 5 points of UMA. Normally the UMA goes 15 points to the first place player, 5 points to second place, -5 to third, -15 to fourth. But that changes a little bit. If you are the only player over, you get 20 points for being in first, and second place will gain 0 points of UMA. So that means that it is going to be a big opportunity for Nick to climb the standings if he can keep this up.
Nick looking at a little bit of a boost that might potentially put him into the top 10. Generally, you just need to, when you're this low in the packing order and with how much the promotion line moves, I imagine that the most you gotta hope for is ending with positive points, because if you're negative in points, you're pretty much locked out of a promotion spot given um, cataclysmic circumstances not happening.
Yeah, and actually, there's a small little wrinkle here in the series. You'll notice that two of the players at this table are at 18 games played. One player is at 21 games played, and Nick is at 22 games played. So I believe there are two more games yet to be played in the series, including this one. And when they finish, Nick will be done with his season. So this is his last two games to get as high as he can in the standings, and then hope things fall his way.
Home.
That's a call by V, looking to go towards either a Tanya or maybe even a Toy Toy.
How about both?
Why not both? It is said in Senba's book 136 that you shouldn't go for Toy Toy unless you can stack Toy Toy with something else like Yakuhai or maybe even Tanyao or Honitsu even.
Yeah, it's pretty rare not to get a Toy Toy alongside another Yaku, like Dora 3. Maybe not a Yaku, but certainly value bump. In this case, though, getting just over 30,000 points would be a bit of a help here.
T.
Might see a call here by Nick. Gonna take the call, locking in the 2468 shape. Probably one of my favorite shapes in the game, 2468. We talk a lot about 246 and 468 being really great shapes. Like, hey, it's a three-sided Ryeonmen. It's three tiles, but I just have to cut the other one when I fill in one. 2468. It's two shapes. What am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah. I mean, we don't necessarily need to use all these tiles, especially if we draw a pin tile. We can slim down because we can treat the 4 or 5 and 5, 6 as two different sequences yet to be filled in. However, as we get this late, we might just have to end up cutting the 5 pin and treating the Mon as two shapes. We'll see the Con.
That flips over the 9 pin. 1 pin is already cut from a lot of people, but flipping indicators does allow for more Ura options when somebody does Richi.
Interesting cut here
Mr.
of the 3 Mon. Potential Furiten, 2, 5, and perhaps the 7 Mon later. We'll see how Tempai is drawn by Thomason. Another option is just to trim out of that 3, 4, 5, 6 shape because you are getting plenty of tile acceptance in the Monzu and the Pinzu. You don't necessarily need the So tiles anymore.
Well, that is one heck of a Pinfu building up in Mr. Richi's hand.
Ooh. Maybe
Call.
an opportunity perhaps to cut the 7 pin instead. Keep the Diacon 4, 6, 8 and hold 4, 5 pin and 5, 6, 7 pin. But dropping the 5 pin is another way to go, and that gives the call into Toy Toy Tempai. You called it. Toy Toy Tanya Tempai.
Toy Toy Tanya waiting on the floor, so 6 Mon. There's none left in the wall. Nick is going to take Tenpai here with Tanya waiting on the 7 Mon. 2, 3, 4 is going to complete the shape. Richi!
3-sided, your
What's
choice.
the play got to be here?
Could have gone for 2, 5, 8, so goes for 3, 6, 9 instead.
Sanzo in the hand. What is Thomason going to play here?
Oh, this is tough.
Everything is lit up like an orange pumpkin.
Finds the way out.
Gotta drop the 6 pin.
And a safe option for
Easily.
Nick as well. Goes 6 pin. Nice plays.
Thomason gives away a 1,000 point stick to everyone. Probably the least catastrophic ending here. And the dealership is going to continue in Nick's hands.
All right, that's a Richi stick that is left on the table to collect. 2 home buzz will increase the value of the hand by 600 points. 1 completed sequence already for our dealer, looking to make more shapes. A lot of honor tiles to chew through. On the right, a completed shape, a nice Mon and pin and So shape. This looks fantastic. I'd be so happy with this hand, especially with Dora 2 already. Chances for Sanshoku. It's so pretty. I just want to keep looking at this hand. There's other ones at the table. Thompson opening up with the South Pole can use the Dora 4 pin. Would love to draw one. Already 2 away from Tempai. And on the left, we have a Pinshu type hand looking to build sequences. Can also accept the Dora 4 pin. Pair already completed, but a lot of sequences yet to find.
While we're kind of cycling out the terminals and honor shapes from the hands, I did watch some of my club players play a little bit, and there is a little bit of a, what I say, beginner's trap that happens, where at the beginning of your hand, you kind of cut away from some shapes that aren't terminals or honors. Like sometimes I see something as egregious as a 3 or 7 by itself being cut before honors.
Mm.
How much would you say this affects your hand going forward in the rest of the rounds?
Unless you have a very specific plan with the honor tiles, dropping especially tiles between 3 and 6 can be really limiting for your future options, because that's basically saying I will not use a 1 if I draw it, I will not use a 2 if I draw it. A lot of times I can't use a 4 or a 5 if I draw it, if you drop the 3, for example. And that just means that eventually sometimes you just end up not being able to use an entire suit, which you can imagine over the course of up to 18 more draws can be extremely limiting if you can only play 2 suits.
This 8-mon draws 10 pi for V. What is the play gonna be here?
It's
I
so there's so many options. Three pin cut leaves the 4/7 diamond, but you
Yeet.
lose Sanchoku. We'll Ricci that though.
Ricci waiting on the 4-7 pin. I don't particularly like this shape as much because it's basically like a what I like to call Riyadman and a half draws it. Anyways, on the other side,
I gotta say,
Ricci, Ipatsu, Sumo, Pinfu, Tanyo, Dora 2!
Uno Baiman!
What?
And that's why we like the
Vegas,
shape. That's why we like the shape. That's why we slammed Ricci. Well, Nick, if you were hoping to be the only player over 30,000 points, we have a new contender now. The race for first place is up in the air.
Holy V! Up to 46,000. Just 7,000 behind Nick. Nick, you gotta watch your back. This hand is cracked too with Ipeco chance.
And the hand is lacking a pair. The 7-7-8-9-9 is such a beautiful way to find a pair. You can draw anything from 6 through 9 and be very happy. And the worst draw is even the 8-mon there. But now with a 3-so backup pair, everything is good.
Everything is lighting up V's way. Nick, on the other hand, not looking too shabby either, although missing a pair and also gonna need to fill in those awkward Kanchan shapes.
Look, if he draws an 8-mon, I'll be a believer.
There's an 8-pin, adding another pair option, albeit that 6-7-8-8 shape is a bit awkward. Gotta throw the 8-pin back.
Yeah, I think probably would have spent less time cutting that 8-pin if it wasn't right next to the Dora. But still correct, I believe, to cut the 8-pin there. Wow.
Well, there's a triplet of Sanzos getting that pretty much communicating to V that they have the blessing of the Sanzo cult tonight.
Well, it looks like it's guaranteed win then. Let's see, can Nick chase this down? Remember, if Nick wins the hand, Nick wins the game. And that's not so bad. 2 away from Tempai. 1 away from Tempai.
1 away. Gonna need a pair, and then also gonna need to fill in something. Well, needing a pair when you have all these sequence shapes, you can get almost anything and have your pair filled out.
Yeah, anything...
That's not gonna be a move towards Tenpai though. That 6-mon shape.
It will move you in the direction of a Pinfu, perhaps, so could dumb, although I suspect Nick in this score position will want to just Ricci anyway. And we'll just cut away from 8-so, 6-so, and hold diamond shapes. Draw the Dora, wow.
Ooh. Ricci waiting for the 3-6-mon. Are there any weights that I'm missing in that?
No, but there's a problem. There's only 1 copy of that weight live in the wall.
What has there only being 1 copy been a problem with tonight's game?
That's true.
It seems like when there's 1 copy left, everyone just draws it themselves.
And this is actually an interesting decision. I mean, this is a fine scoreline normally from the dealer's perspective, but you're Ishant there with a beautiful hand. You just want to chase this down. So we're going to see the 9-pin jam. You might see every tile jammed. This can't be called. Ugh!
7-mon. Already discarded the 7-mon previously.
That's so unlucky.
Gotta drop it again.
I was thinking about this 7-8-9-9 shape and the fact that, oh, there's last 6. Do you hold it? We'll hold it.
9-mon is gonna drop.
Mr. Ricci does not want to get a 4th here, so can just bail out and let this game go to a draw. But we'll try the 6.
Peels it in. locking in first place for Nick. Ricci pinned Fudora to Mongon. That's gonna drop Mr. Ricci down to 10,300. Nick is gonna go over the 50,000 line and take this game.
This is going to spice up the standings a little bit as we see Nick pulling in 39.7. That will get over 80 points in the standings once they update, and 80 is pretty close to that promotion line, especially if it drops a little bit. As we see, 5th place drops down, Mr. Ricci losing 24.7.
V's got to enter the promotion zone.
Players starting to clump around this 5, 6, 7 spot. You see the big board now.
Nick has one more game. 8 plus 82. I feel like 3 spots away from promotion. It's gotta be pretty safe for C2. Like, you're not quite in the promotion zone yet, but you have a good chance of the promotion zone dropping down that you're able to reach into it.
Yeah, if this was a couple seasons ago, I would say definitely. But we've seen the upper divisions have started to fill out, in fact, overfill a little bit, which means that there are fewer bonus promotion spots to drop down. So I actually don't know what the outlook is going to be for the C2 division in terms of bonus promotions. Certainly, it is the best opportunity. The lower you go, generally, the more chances you'll get. So always got to keep up that hope. And remember, as long as you are positive in the season, there is always a chance, especially if upper divisions get expansions or there are division splits. Huge shout out, of course, to Edwin, who runs the league and determines all of that, does the math and the analysis, and just figures everything else out behind the scenes. It's quite complex, but this league has been managed quite successfully. So whatever comes through, I'm sure will be very exciting, especially as we enter the next season, which has implications in terms of qualification into the World Ricci Championship that will be held in the US this year.
That is right, because American Ricci Mahjong League gets to select 4 of the seats that enter into the ARA Invitational. The other way to get seats in the ARA Invitational is by playing in tournaments and earning enough qualification points. Edwin has not quite determined how the qualification is going to work from Armo into the ARA Invitational, but
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really exciting to see players from this league get invites. And a lot of the players that have joined this league are also pretty well known in the open tournament circuit as well. And I know a bunch of people actually that are joining the league this season that I got to play against in the open tournament scenes, but even recently. And I'm very excited because they are some super strong players that are going to be joining Armble and making this league even more competitive.
shout out to my man Michael from the Ricci Mahjong Club, Wisconsin.
Hey.
Michael got a little bit to watch some of the C division action, and he's determined that if he finishes his first C division in negative points, then he's gonna quit Mahjong.
It happens though. I know one of the best players in Illinois finished with one of the lowest scores in the C division. And sometimes you just get seasons where nothing goes right for you. I had a session where I lost 180 points in 4 games. Sometimes things just don't go your way. It happens.
I will just say, Michael, watch the ego a little bit, because you might come into Armel thinking you're hot stuff and thinking that you're better than everyone else, but you might just run into someone that you play against during your first season who will humble you so hard you quit Mahjong for 2 years. That's just something that may or may not happen. I am totally not speaking from experience.
Totally not. Speaking from personal experience, yeah. I think it's pretty common in the Mahjong scene to take breaks every now and then, especially if you've gotten, invested too much into the game. But we are into game number 4 here, and it is Nick starting us off in the dealer seat. 3-pin Dora, 3 pairs in the hand, 1 completed sequence. Gonna be interesting to see how this hand shapes up. A lot of options. You can even 1-pin discard later and shift this to a Tanya depending on the draws. But you go always in the cards when you've got 3, 3, 5, 5, 7. You just need to draw a couple 4-sos. Not gonna happen though because we see those drawn all around the table.
Thomason getting coal from Suno with that starting hand, south and north, neither of them being the prevalent wind or the seat wind.
Okay, but
Gotta triple up the souths there.
yeah, if you just keep drawing south and north, that's actually less coal and more a super special present. Gonna cut away from the 9-mon pair though. No Suanko Dreams. Still, we're gonna move towards the flush.
Honitsu Chance by Thomason. Nick gonna still need some work there. Potential for an Ipeiko with those with the 3-3-5-5 Sozu going on there.
Yeah.
As we're still cycling through the terminals and honors.
On the right, we've got a Dora draw. That's a little awkward because we already had a 1, 2, 3 completed, but we'll hold on to it for a little bit. Perhaps that becomes our pair later, and if another 3 comes out, we can certainly pull. Wow, what did I say about keep drawing south and north?
Con by Thomason. That's got to flip over the 8-mon becoming Dora. No one having 8-mon. Well, Thomason discarded an 8-mon earlier. 5, 6, 7 Penzu shape is going to be complete, dropping the 5-mon there.
Interesting choice because you could have cut maybe the 2-so instead or floated a pair draw, being able to cut the 4-mon. So really just locking the pair and looking for a 3-sided shape with either the 4-pin draw or the 3-so draw.
Always love shooting for Honitsu, and your discards pretty much tell you what suit you're going for.
Yeah, no secrets here.
Gonna draw another 4, so they're starting to cut away from the symbols, so flashing the yellow light as Senba would say in their rating Honitsu section. This is Tenpai for V, but would have to cut out the 3-pin Dora. Ricci waiting for the 4-mon 6-so.
Oh, we're gonna see an immediate chase though on the left. Mr. Ricci says, I like Ricci as well. 1-4 pin with the con as well. Super chance at some Uda.
What is the decision going to be here by Thomason and Nick?
Well, Thomason calls north into Tenpai, so waits on the 7-so for Honitsu only, but some bonus fu.
West is going to fall. That is Dora the 8-mon, and Thomason's just going to chuck it out.
Yeah, just fires that through.
That is one heck of a punt. 9-so doesn't really do anything here, so you're going to continue to punt, cut out the 9-so.
Oh, 7-pin. This is an interesting shape here. I mean, yeah, gonna go 5-mon and then 4, but the 7 will come out.
The 7-so will deal into Thomason. Honitsu Nomi, 60 fu!
So is it
60 fu?
Is that Bakahon anymore? If it's worth 60 fu, like that's 3 hon, essentially. I don't think that qualifies anymore.
Mm-hmm. Might as well call it 3 hon.
Yeah, there we go. Thomason off to the early lead, collects a couple of Ricci sticks as well. So we will watch now our dealer.
Our dealer is 2-pin is the Dora. There's only one 2-pin out, and it is in the hand of Mr. Ricci. Pair of the West, so this hand could be very callable. I would lean towards calling this hand a bit quicker because you have the Dora in hand. Well, that is an Itsu shot by Thomason. Gone eat the 6-so there. Maybe you want to get another shape that isn't that 8-9-mon.
Yeah, floating. I could have actually cut the 8-9-mon in favor of holding 2-4. Generally, that more centralized Kanchan will have a better chance of improving than the 8-9, but actually it looks to be going for the flush in its entirety.
We'll have to see about that if that 7-8-9-mon shape gets called, or if Thomason decides to start calling more of those Sozu shape. There is a pair of the Red Dragons and a pair of the West inside Mr. Ricci's hand, so could call either of those. Could make any call, actually, almost guaranteeing getting some kind of call with the West or the Red Dragon.
Yeah, that's a super powerful fact of having two potential Yokohai triplets. However, there are actually 4 pairs in this hand, so if you call, you are losing the chance at a later Chitoi. Not that we want to necessarily go for Chitoi, but certainly something to consider. What Tanya will play with the 9-mon here is possible. Just preemptively cut 7, so perhaps even thinking about drawing 1-mon or 5-mon towards an Itsu. Okay, here's the 5-mon. It is Tempai, and we'll just take it. I thought it might be a little bit patient because this weight is a little bit awkward and you have some improvements, but no, Ricci Tanya will just slam. Oh, and there would have been the Itsu.
Ricci weighing on the 4-pin. Only one looking to be in decent shape right now is V.
Yeah, it was looking good for Mr. Ricci, but a little bit too slow in the draws.
I don't imagine anyone else is gonna push here. Mr. Ricci's gotta try to go for something, maybe? That 7-so is a safe cut, but it is always interesting to see people call while they're voting. Another 4-pin draw, gotta cut the 3-so, maybe try to force Toy so late into the discard round?
Yeah, this is a little tricky. I mean, there were a couple forcible blockers, but it's usually not enough to force a jam. So this is definitely a sign of aggression here. This cheat, well, technically it helps. It's Tempai for the flush, but has drawn the deal-in tile, so switches to it.
Drops the 5-pin shape, switching to the 4-pin, increasing the chance of a double run if either Mr. Ricci or Nick decide to put down the 4-pin. That's a call for the West. Gonna need one more call to get into that Toy Tenpai.
This is a flush Tenpai. We're gonna see the 4-pin.
4-pin drops, deals into V, the dealer. Ricci, Tanyao. No Ura. 3,900 passes over. And V gets to keep dealership.
The scores equalize just a little bit. And we do have dealer with the double East pair. Big opportunity now. 678 Sanchoku live as well. So potential 3 Han. 5,800 is not bad. If you can get there close, could be even more. On the right, though, 1 Dora for Thomason. Some work to do with a 5-7-7-8 mon shape at the similar 2-4-4-5 pin shape. Across the way, Mr. Ricci has all the shapes that one would need to make a hand, but a couple more weak. 6-8, so Kanchan, 1-2, so Penshan has some drawing power, perhaps. With some drawing power, you can get there. And this is an interesting hand on the left. 4 pairs, singleton to the door. It's one of those hands where I think about playing Chitoi, but I'm not afraid to pull him.
It is 4 pairs, but there's also a lot of escape routes, as I would like to call them, because you can still do some kind of e-Peiko with the 8-8, 9-9 pairs. You still have that 2-3-4 Sozu shape.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit tough if the Green Dragon were to come out now to decide what you want to do.
V's gonna draw the triplet of East themselves. Now Ishanten.
Yeah, still Sanchoku is live. Here's a big opportunity. 6-0, or big question. Will we see the Chi?
Seal the Sanshoku. Seal the Sanshoku! Tenpai waiting for the 7-so for V. Sanshoku double East.
Yeah, 5,800 points on Roan, and 2,600 all on Sumo. Oh, Khan!
Can you con this?
Khan.
Come on, Con! Con!
That's
gonna flip over the 8-so. That's not gonna help necessarily.
Chi.
That wants us to do some more math. Well, it's going to be 60 Fu, so we're looking at 3 and 60 for a dealer. That's a Mongon.
Might as well be 4 Han.
Just looking for that 7, so 3 copies in the wall.
Oh, that 4-so's gonna have to drop.
Actually, no, because this has to be Tanya, so the 9-mon actually not helpful here. Oh, the 7 drawn, but held for a Ricci just on the 3-so, and now we're going to have a challenge. Mr. Ricci has slammed against the dealer's expensive hand.
Plus that Ricci increases the chance of Ura being drawn.
Yeah, door comes out post Ricci. 3-mon. No, it's gonna come out. These tiles lagging from the Ricci player's discards always makes me sweat. Is it a Tsumo? No. What about this one? Oh, could have been a Tsumo for Thomason.
Mm,
Maybe just doesn't want to drop the 9-mon here for some reason. It is
that
safe.
is 5 pairs.
Yeah, that's
That is
10-5.
6 pairs actually for Nick, waiting on the 3-so as well.
No way. There's only one copy left. It's Suji. It's so safe. Surely.
Surely.
It
Ricci waiting on the Sancho. There's the Sancho. No, put it down.
What in the world just
Run!
happened?
Double run. Ricci, Nomi. The other hand, Ricci, Patsu, Chitoi, Dora 2. Don't be by about Hane, man. 12,000 passing over.
How do you choose? How do you choose to wait one turn and then declare Ricci waiting on a tile that has only one copy in the wall? You know there's only one copy in the wall, and then have that tile show up on Ipatsu turn, and it must be pushed because the value is too strong for the dealer for 12,000 points, and instead deals into 2 hands. What is this madness?
Get hit by the double run, and we saw V in a matter of moments go from 40,000 to 15,000. That's gotta sting.
Oh, absolutely. You have to take a moment to recalibrate. Okay, it's just these two. I'm at 15,000 points. Okay, everyone else is above 30,000. Not great, but there's still time to come back. It's not like the decision that I made was poor. It was certainly understandable given the circumstances. We're just gonna keep playing consistently strong mahjong and come back in the remainder of this game. That's why we play East round and South round and not just 4 hands.
Hey, all y'all Sanzo cultists in the chat.
You
got some good arguing points. You got some good arguing points tonight. I'm gonna give that.
Yeah, today has been your day. Okay, interesting choice here. 7-so is pretty efficient, but if you cut the 4-so, 3-so, you're left with a better end weight and potential for door quality. But Mr. Ricci will choose the sort of pair draw options here. I like it a little bit less when one of our incomplete shapes holds 2 pairs already. The 2-2, 3-3 pin makes it more awkward to draw another copy of the 2-pin or 3-pin.
This is going to be Ishanten for Thomason. Ricci by Mr. Ricci, waiting on the 2-5-so.
Yep, finds the nice Pinfu weight, Ricci Pinfu. Unfortunately, drew the wrong side for Ipeko, but you know what? We take what we can get.
Not going to be a call here because that 1-mon is blocking Tanya. Gotta drop 2-so into Mr. Ricci's hand. Ricci, Patsu, Pinfu. No Ura, so 330, 3900 passed over. Mr. Ricci is gonna be dealer for this next hand. East 4. And potential chance for Sanshoku with that 1-2-3. I don't particularly like going for Sanshoku on the ends, but it is an option.
Yeah, actually just gonna throw the 1-mon back and say let's go. Does need to find another pair, and that's what makes the 1-1-2-2 so really awkward if you're planning to play the Sanchoku. Of course, if you draw the 1-so, you could just use it as a triplet pair, so you don't need to force that in. But the 3-mon draw, the wall is encouraging this. And look, I'm here for it. You know me, I love me a good Sanchoku. On the right, looks pretty strong. The 1 3 5 7 9 in Pinzu, all the odd tiles is a little bit awkward, but we'll see if that comes to pass towards an Itsu. Across the table, nice sequence shapes, 2 pairs, 1 pair of the Dora, and there are 2 pairs in that hand, but one of them will probably turn into a sequence. And then on the left, Thompson has a callable green dragon. No Dora, but Dora acceptance, just awkward shapes all around. So we're looking at the hand on the right probably is the most likely to get there first.
Mr. Ricci is foregoing the 1-2-3 Sanshoku, starting to cut away that 2-1 Pinzu shape.
And as a result, we'll retain the 5-pin again. Ooh, big draw across the table. There's a 7-so. We move 1 away from Tenpai. And actually, if we look at the hand across the table, these shapes are close to being good. They're close to being good. I'll put it that way. The 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8 is totally fine with a 5-so door. If you could pull in the 5-so, it'd be fantastic and move into Tanyao. 4-so helps tremendously. Now we can make sequences out of the shape. Now we can maybe even drop out of the 2-mon, 1-mon.
dropping the 6 mon shape, potentially walking in the 1/2 mon.
Yeah, and the Forest certainly helps with this plan because if you draw the 3 mon, you will have a strong Tempai, not just the Shaba weight. It also maybe preemptively sets up a Suji Trap if you draw into Tempai in the Sozo as well.
7-So's gonna pass. Red Dragon comes out. That is 4 pairs in Thomason's hand. One of the pairs being the Green Dragon, although you also have that 5/6/7 mon shape.
Would you pull to go 5/6/7 discard? No, that's a little too
No,
far. Okay.
apparently no.
Oh, you just draw it yourself now.
Just draw it.
The wall
Draw
is...
it
Oh,
anyways.
Hatsu, okay.
Oh, gotta cut away the greens.
It felt like the
I
green
guess
was an opportunity for value for this hand, so I might have tried the 4-pin or the 6-pin there. Maybe
that's gonna be 10. That's gonna be 10 pi for V.
Just on the 3 mon, but with Richidora 2 is totally fine. You have a Suji Trap weight. Also, notably, 2 players have cut 1-mon, 2-mon, and you have a 1-mon, 2-mon in your hand, so 3-mon's really hard to use.
3-mon has got to be kept in. There's also the drops of the 6/9 mon in V's discard pool, so it does look just a Suji Trap.
Yeah, I could totally see Thompson getting bit here. Mr. Ricci is holding 3-mon into hand, the only other player to have held the 1/2-mon, and then, fortunately for Nick, a pair 3-mon, although, depending on what gets drawn, things could get tough.
3/5 shape, potentially. Gonna cut away that 9-pin.
Oh, 4.
Do you con this? Do you con this? No, you just deal in.
It's a Kave. It's so hard to not just drop it, and it will come out for the Richidora to no it up, but this is the start of the comeback.
On to South 1 now. Mr. Ricci and Nick over 30,000. V looking at 20,000, and Thomason also around the 20,000 range.
Everyone dropped 12,000 points to Nick, to Echo Day, but got half of it back there and can get another 6,000 back in this hand. Will be doing just fine in this game. 3 Pandora, 1 held to the right, 2 held across the table, and that hand's looking pretty fancy over there, just 2 tiles away from Tempai. And then our dealer also is pretty close as well, 2 tiles from Tempai.
2 tiles away from Tenpai. However, that 1/2 shape, I'm not a big fan of 1/2/8/9. I'll share my disdain on it on the broadcast whenever I get the chance to.
Yeah, especially now that the 3 Pandora has been held by twice on the right and across the table. There are 0 copies left in the world to find.
Now, Chanta, on the other hand, you can make an argument for Chanta.
Yeah,
2 4 6 8 Sozu shape, gotta cut away the 2 there, keeping it as a 4 6 8. Could switch out the pair here.
Could go for all pairs. This is 5 pairs. It looks like a normal hand, but it could just be Chitoy. It's gonna cut the Yaman shape. Okay.
So looks like we are gonna get a move towards Chitoy, Tanyao.
Yeah, this doesn't
325.
Have to be, this
maybe
isn't
425.
A commit though, because you could continue to draw into the So shape and then start to make calls towards Tanya Dora too. So there still are options here, and cutting the 5/6 is the only route. This keeps the dream alive for a normal hand.
Rion Peiko.
It's gonna be tough to get there, but it is possible.
I mean, you'd have to cut away like 4 or 5 or so.
Yeah, you have to get rid of one of your pairs. Ooh, Tanya shift. Ishanten for Thompson, but might have to drop a Dora in the future, and I think that'd be snapped up.
You could pivot away from 7 pairs maybe with this 2 so draw.
Yeah, 7-pin would be a fine way to
No, I'm gonna keep it instead.
But the problem is your Huriten on the 1 so, the 1/4 so has issues, so we'll just cut the 2 back. And look at this from Thompson, cutting 6-pin, hedging, and then drawing the 2-mon, and just committing to the pair with a 4-pin, hoping for the 3-mon draw, and that will give
Ipeco cuts the 7 so.
That's some Dora greed right there, saying I'm not going to give up on the 3-pin draw, but we're going to see the reach come out. Will it be the 3-sided weight? Your Huriten there, so the Shaba with the 3-mon? Yes.
Ricci by Thomason waiting on the 2-mon 3-pin. 3-pin is Dora. There's a pair of 3-pin on the right side, so the win's probably gonna have to come from 2-mon.
Chumon's live in the wall. That would be a big symbol.
Oh, call! Gotta cut away from the Chi toy and start hedging Tanya with 2 Doras.
Yeah, it's Tenpai waiting on the 4-pin. There are 2 tiles held or discarded by other players, so only 1 copy of that tile on the wall.
9-pin's gonna drop. 9-pin is gonna drop.
7-so's pretty safe. You can see all 4 copies of the 6-so. The 7's one's cut already, so pretty hard to win on that.
It's gonna be hard to... Draws the 2-mon anyways. Ricci, Sumo, Tanyao, Dora 2. This is Mongon.
No,
It's gonna be Mongon. 2,000, 4,000. And that's gonna put Thomason over 30,000. Into South 2. V's gonna have to do some work here. Could go on a dealer run here.
High pie?
But that starting hand is... Oh, it's so ugly. I hate to see this one to start your dealer round.
It's one of those hands you legitimately consider calling 5-so. 4, 5, 6. And just saying, this is Itsu. This is the full straight. Much better hand on the left with 2 Dora. Pinfu look. Maybe just Tanyao. And across the way. Similarly, a better set of tiles to open up to. Still, that doesn't mean our dealer is out of, has no chance in this hand.
Gotta be a call here, shifting with the Tanya. Gotta try to make this a quick hand, especially with 2 Doras in the hand already. I do like this play by Nick, rushing a 2 Dora hand.
Yeah, that's a pretty common move there with 2 Dora, when you don't need to force the Mongon. Of course, if you see a 6-so come out, you can get the chance to pull, and that's definitely the way to go.
Could pawn this.
Would pawn that, did pawn that. But that gives a nice 3-pin draw to dealer, so we are Ishantan now. Oh, says
Gotta cut away the 6-8?
I feel like with 2 calls, I don't have the luxury to play around with these tiles. But, oh, you know what? I forgot. The 7-pin got pawned, so that shape's just not as good as it normally is. And looking at like a genius now.
Pair of Souths makes this hand easily callable now if a South comes out.
Oh, the South is gone. Twice cut already, so we'll not be able to do that. However, it is callable in the sense that the 1-so Chi will give Tenpai with a Yaku, and the 5-so Chi will also give Tenpai that has a Yaku if the 1 comes out.
You know, we did a log review the other day where Nathaniel determined that I need to stop looking at the hand in front of me only so much and start looking up at the discards, and y'all are starting to see my symptoms of that on the stream.
Everyone does that. I can definitely tell when I'm in the zone, when I'm spending only a few seconds looking at my hand and spending the remaining time looking up at the board and at the other players' hands. It definitely is good when I can spend my brain focused on other things than how to build my own hand.
Ricci by V waiting on the 5-8, so one of them's the Dora indicator. There's still a good amount of them left in the wall. I would imagine there's a good chance of being able to win off of this and continue the dealership.
3 tiles, not bad. Not going to be PU here, of course, because we're in the South round, and that makes the South pair a value pair. Maybe value pair isn't an official term, but I'd like it to be. I think of a value pair as a pair that could be worth value if you got a triplet of it.
Tenpai for Nick waiting on the 4-7 mon. Ricci by Mr. Ricci waiting on the 2-5 pin. So that's 3 players in Tenpai, and Thomas is gonna have to find a way around this. Like, half of the hand has potential to deal in. Is this a call by Nick? Call for the triple Dora, now waiting on the 6-mon only.
Wow, you call away all your save tiles and wait just on the 6-mon Khan?
Khan doesn't help out Nick, but that's more Ura.
Now somehow the Khan doesn't help out anybody except for maybe Thomason, but he's having trouble finding it out. And
the 6! Nick guessed correctly! Tanya Dora 3 on the 6-mon only. Mongon gets passed over. Thomason has got to drop under 30,000.
With all the Mon tiles coming out, that 6-Mon didn't look as bad, but oh my goodness, that Tonki pays out? Somehow Nick is doing it up to 41.8. And that's also the dealership gone, so 4th place has some work to do. The bright side, Thomas has now dipped below 30,000 points, so not necessarily the big minus 20 points of Umalas. If you can't change position.
Thomason's hand has 4 pairs inside of it. Got to start cutting away that 6-8 Mon shape. Keep the 4-pin floater. Cycling through some of our terminals and honors. 1, 2, 3 Mon is going to be complete. Got to cut the 1. So here, keep the 4-pin floater still.
Yeah, really awkward. There's so many pairs in this hand to go with the door too. I feel like I just want to get rid of one of them. But we'll cut the floating 4-pin and just play all the pairs. We're going to have to drop one eventually, though. It's not going to be the 8, so that's the door.
Another 1-pin falls. I mean, it could be 8, so if you play like me and you just forget to look at the door indicator, and then go away from 8, so moment later you're like, oh, dang it, I discard the Dora.
Okay, how about pair number 5? Is this the play?
What have to start cutting away that 1, 2, 3? Gotta cut out the 1 Mon. Making moves towards Chi-Toy.
Yeah, this is really creative too, because it's not just Chi-Toy. This moves you into Tanyao territory as well. And now the 5-so draw complete by this Toy-Toy.
Ooh. Okay. When you self-draw an Onko like that.
Pong! Oh, Pong!
Pong?
Pong holding the con for later. This also leaves the 4-so
really
Chi
interesting play. Really interesting.
Yeah, I on the 7-Mon cut, I slightly prefer the 3-Mon because it allows us to go 9-pin later for Tanya, but this is really commit to Toy is the likely plan. And we'll see if we con now. Con. Yeah, there it is.
There's the con. 1-so becomes the new Dora. So, once again, that's more Ura.
Yeah, at this point, if I'm Thomason, I want to cut 6-Mon, 4-pin, and any tile that does not advance my hand, because I want to be holding safe tiles in case someone declares a Ricci. I want to be able to continue to push tiles against the Ricci without dealing in, so I have the best chance to win my own hand.
There's another call by Thomason, so that's going to put them Ishanten needing one more triplet to come out. That's Dora. Dora's going to drop very easily. Not even a second thought about it.
And you're not going to be able to use the door in this hand, so don't want to be holding it for too long.
Maybe open Itsu for V?
Thought about it, but said no. And with the Gyaoman shaped in hand, that makes a lot of sense. That was another opportunity, by the way, to go 9-pin and play for Tanya. But again, Thomason committing to the Toy.
Got to be a call by Mr. Ricci. I would imagine just Toy, another Toy.
Yeah, this one Toy Nomi, so no extra value here. Ooh, this 4-so.
Oh, gotta keep it a little bit and drop the 3-pin instead.
Yeah, this is a question. You can see all copies of the 5-so. You can see 3 copies of 3-so. Where's the 4-so? Only one person can use it as a sequence, so it's got to be paired up somewhere in the wall. 4-so will come out now, though. Tenpai.
That's Tenpai, 2-Mon, 8-so, 9-Mon, 1-pin.
And Nick not wanting to deal in here. Cuts the 6-Mon, safe to both players.
V's got to start cutting away. Draws the 2-Mon. Toy, Dora 2, Mongon, Dealer Mongon, 12,000. Thomason gets back over the 30,000 line. Has got to take first place here.
Okay, but that brings Mr. Ricci down, so not completely out. If you're in 4th place right now, you're not losing maximum value. Really would just like to win a hand and save some points.
Gotta start cycling through these terminals and honors. Which hands are looking the best right now?
Oh, definitely Toyman. Across the table has just beautiful tiles, lots of pairs, but they are connected to sequences and a pair of Dora as well. On the right, though, Mr. Ricci also doing pretty fantastic. In fact, we'll even Chi towards the Sancho. Go 5-so, 6-so. Big Chanta, let's go.
Big Chanta.
Needs a 3-Mon.
Big Chanta got the phone call saying Sanso's appeared way too much on the stream, and Big Chanta wants a piece of tonight, too.
I gotta get all the memes on stream. All right, 4 mon. Get that out of here. We don't need middle tiles. 4, 5, 6 will not be used in this hand. Thank you very much.
Home.
Red Dragon, that's got to be called waiting for the 3-mon only. Quick Tenpai. Also with Chanta in this hand.
Now, if you were one of the players at the table and you were paying attention to the draws and discards, and you saw 5-so, call, 6-so, you have to wonder what shape is better for them to have in their hand than a 5-so and a 6-so, diamond shape. It doesn't make sense, right?
Each.
It doesn't matter when you're Tenpai as dealer, you just slam.
Slam it, waiting for the 3-6-mon.
Oh! Ippatsu!
Ippatsu, Richi, Ippatsu, Pinfu, no Uras. That's got to be a dealer 330. Bringing Thomason over 40,000. As Korak says in the chat, Big Chanta an absolute shambles.
It was kind of funny there because, if that 6-mon goes through, then not only is the 3-mon Suji to the Richi, but, you didn't have much better to drop. Of course, the 1-pin was Genbutsu, but that was the only tile that you had, so maybe some incentive to just try to win the hand as your best chance of escaping that situation. Unfortunately, drew the wrong tile on Ippatsu and will deal it in. So, chance now for the battle between 3rd and 4th place to be very close. Manga and Sumo separating the two.
That is a really quick discard of the Dora Haku.
You can't use it. You just gotta let it go. Home. Okay, Chanta didn't work. How about Junchan?
You might as well shoot for it, right? Junchan is like Chanta, but on another level.
Yeah, you get the plus +1.
Well, you draw into the 1, 2, 3. So if you want to hedge Junchan, then the cut here's got to be 7, 8. So
yeah, normally you keep the diamond shape, the two-sided shape, but in this case, if you're going for a very specific hand that can only use terminals in each set, you can't take both sides of that two-sided shape. So this forces the Junchan to happen. So now waiting on the 2-so for Tuhan.
Another quick Tenpai for Mr. Ricci. Let's see if Junchan hits this time after Big Chanta failed and had the blaster explode in their face.
2-so once caught, once held. Thompson unlikely to drop the 2-so. That means gonna have to rely on one of those tiles that's in the wall. However, 2 of the players at the table, and even Thompson himself, cannot use the 2-so. So really 4 drawing pools towards that tile. Just it has to be coming soon.
Meanwhile, Nick might be shooting one heck of a maybe toy.
No.
Nah, it's not gonna be toy.
Yeah, maybe just Ipeko?
Probably hedging towards Ipeko instead. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, Pinzu.
Yeah, and of course there is Ishanten on the left. So could we see a Ricci fight against this open hand? Players looking for that 3-pin. Oh, this is a chance to move to
5-mon is very useful. Drops the Haku Dora.
Oh, hey, hang on a second. This is one of the ways that the 2-so comes out. Oh, 1-mon. This moves us far away from Tenpai, though.
Maybe Thomason just wants the game to be over. It is South 3. Just needs to pass off one more hand.
Certainly, Tanyao is a look, but I think we value Tenpai a little bit more than that. Okay, you know what? It's a 2-3-4 Sancho commit. If that's the case, I respect the decision. There's the 4, so come on. 6-7. 6-7. No!
6.
No!
Ooh.
I'm gonna regret it. We're gonna draw the last copy of the 4-mon.
First of all, Nathaniel, do not speak those 2 numbers next to each other next time. I know it's Mahjong and that sequence comes up a lot, but it is very tempting. Second off, I don't particularly like going for Sanshoku here. I mean, with the 1-mon being Fur 10.
Oh, this 2-so is destined to come out, and it's Suji as well. There's no way out, right? There's no way.
Reminder of the 5-so Suji.
Yeah, Suji doesn't really matter as much with these calls.
West buys time. West is gonna buy some time.
That is a different Ishanten. Yeah, just go throw it back. Oh no, this is Tenpai. You gotta jam. You have to.
Gotta jam it.
Go.
Chuso deal into Junchan by Mr. Ricci. Junchan no me 2600. I don't think Thomason's got to be a little bit hurt by that, though. They're still over 40,000 in the lead, and it's all last.
Junchan confirmed better than Chanta. You saw it here. Well, Mr. Ricci, what have you got? Not done yet. South 4 and a bunch of repeats in theory to go. Haku pair to open up. That means if the fourth copy does show its face, we can boom.
Quick pawn by Mr. Ricci. Let's see how long Mr. Ricci can prolong this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a big opportunity, though, for Nick in this hand to make use of that Dora. The one copy in hand right now, only one copy, other copy at the table that's on the left. If he could somehow pair that up, and then Slammer Ricci could gain enough points to take over for first place.
Everyone holding on to that Hatsu for life, trying to see if they can pair it up. Get some cheap Dora out of the way. Is that Ishanten for V?
Not quite. The 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 is so awkward. I just want to cut the 2 and the 6 away and get a Samenchan. Could end up with 2 Samenchan shapes, but Ricci Pinfu might not be enough. Needs Mongan Sumo still. This is the play. Cutting 9-mon, 9-mon indicates the play for Tanya. So that's a way to squeeze some extra value into this hand.
5-mon's gonna drop. Surely Green Dragon comes out now, right?
Oh, but you've got...
Surely. And it's gonna fall to the ground. Dora goes off and no one needs it immediately.
Yeah, it's the tile that had the least utility in the hand, efficiency-wise, but that was your chance for the biggest type of value. Now, Nick might decide that it's just not needed in this situation, but if you're trying to pill in 6,400, that would be enough. Chito is enough to overtake.
So do you lock in the 1-3-5? Oh! Gotta cut away from the 5-5-7 here, drop the 5-mon and go keep a 5-7-mon shape.
So it means no Son Uncle either. Our value is going to have to be the Uda at this rate. It's kind of rough when you're relying on Son Uncle for value, but, you know, gotta keep that as a consideration. It may be a fake Yaku, but sometimes it shows up.
Some might argue that Sonanko is a more real Yaku than Chanta.
It is Ishanten. Oh, drop the 7. Yep, so Ishanten. A little bit awkward with the 3 so cut now, but can build.
Another Hatsu's gonna have to drop out of here.
Yeah, we really wanted to.
Cuts the 1 so here.
Yeah, it makes sense. There's still 1 copy of the Green Dragon left. And, you know, with 2 Green Dragons discarded, you'd expect that third one to have shown up already. And if it hasn't been discarded, it's probably in the wall. So it's still an opportunity to draw that into Tempai. It won't be the best Tempai, but enough value to overtake, perhaps.
That Hatsu is probably in Mr. Ricci's wall over there. I'm just gonna get that guess out of the way. Hatsu's gonna drop, keeping the 7999 shape.
Just playing efficiently now.
That 678 shape has got to be completed. It is a little bit of a crappy 10 pie waiting on the Sanzo only.
Yeah,
gotta cut it out.
Declines it altogether. Says, I want better if I'm going to slam a Ricci. 3 so was twice out, so pretty tough to expect to win. Whoa, that's a better 10 pie.
That is so much better.
Can cut the 7 for Ricci Pinfu. Can cut the 4 for Ricci Pinfu Sanshoku look. Did I say cut the 7? Oh, cuts the 5 instead.
Cuts the 5, and it's got to be Ricci waiting for the 4-7 so, and it's got to get the 4 so right away.
No, he pots
Ricci. Ura. 2600 goes to Thomason. Thomason locks up this game in first. It's kind of like the flowers to the end of the season, and Nick is gonna enter Christmas with his last game in second place. Last game in third place. I started mixing up the usernames there.
Yeah, we got Thompson first, 31.2. Nice to cap off your season with a win. I mean, actually, I believe Thompson still has 4 games to go. It is Nick who played his last game. 12.8 in second place. Will be climbing higher in the standings. But from the clubhouse, we'll be watching the rest of the players as they complete their seasons as well, hoping for the best. But well done in the final couple of games there. Some miraculous hands, I gotta say, to jump up in the standings, and that's exactly what you're looking for when you're on the bubble. You gotta hope that miracles happen, and well, they certainly have been coming together. Mr. Ricci minus 12.6, so we'll have 4 games yet to play, and still doing well in the upper portion of the standings. And for Reven, we've got 82.3. There is, it does say 23 out of 24, so that could indicate 1 game yet to play, and I see some other odd numbers here. So it's likely that there is 1 session yet to finish up. But the season almost over, and so hoping for a positive result. Again, you don't necessarily need to be in the guaranteed promotion zone, although you certainly would like to be. But you want to get as high up in that list as you can.
I just want to shout out Thomason here. Thomason at the bottom of the standings in Seed 2, so not going to demote any deeper unless a new division starts, but when you're at the bottom of the division, it could be a really discouraging season. Thomason still has 4 games left, by the way, but to get a win a win out of this, like, I've been through streaks before where you just lose a bunch of games and it feels like you don't stop losing, like, it feels like you forgot how to win. Then, when you get first place for the first time in a while, it's just like, oh, I can throw up my fist, I still know how to win, I still got this, and this might have been the motivational boost that Thomason needed to go into these last 4 games.
Sun breaking through the clouds there. And that could happen in Mahjong. I think every Mahjong player goes through streaks of rough games. But I think important, at least the most important thing for me, as I've gone through those streaks, is that as long as I play every game hoping to get something out of the game, then no game is a complete loss. There's always a way I could have played differently, a way I could have improved. And sometimes, if I can't find that the way that I could have improved, that's a sign that I need to ask somebody else. I need to seek the opinion, a secondary opinion, and maybe I'll find a spot that's missing from my game. I think those games where you can't see anything that you've done wrong doesn't necessarily mean you played the perfect game. That's very rarely the case, right? Sometimes it means that you have identified a game where you can pick out a blind spot in your play. That's a good opportunity to find somebody whose opinion you respect and see what they think about the game. See if they can pick out anywhere you can improve from.
I do find AI analysis through Maka to be maybe a little bit misleading because generally you get your grade based on how many correct discards you made, but I find often that these games tend to come down to one bad mistake that you made. So you deal in once or twice, and then you still get like a decent grade from Maka.
And sometimes, your placement in a game comes down to one good deal in. We saw that double roan earlier into a Ricci only and a Hanemon. And you're losing a lot of points. It feels bad to get double rolled. But at the same time, can you really say that was the wrong decision? Your dealer, Tenpai, for 12,000 points against 2 players that have no defense against you and draws of your own. I mean, a lot of times, that's just a push. And in the score situation of this game, very frequently going to just be a push. And sometimes you just draw the one tile in the wall that deals in because there was only 1 copy left. And it just happens that the player waited 1 turn, so you also deal in for Ipatsu for extra value. And, that's Mahjong. It happens. You get unlucky sometimes. But you'll still get a good Maka score because it was the correct decision.
Well, I think that's gonna do it for tonight's stream. There are no more games happening tonight.
Since we were in session 6, do you want to do a division hop and just like peek at all the divisions as we move into the final session and see how things are looking?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do some division hopping, and I bet people in the chat could help us fill in as well.
All right, so here in the C2 division, we do have a couple players who have finished up. As mentioned, Nick, one of those players, Junhan as well, in the third place position, has locked in a season over 229 points, which means that he's in line for a double promotion as long as there is a spot in the C1, B3, in the B3 division for him to climb up. Koichi also in line for double promotion if he can stay above 200 points, and Jonathan as well. Only 17 games played and still dominating the season. Wow, fantastic numbers here. EV over 1,000 points still, looking to just double promote his way all the way up through the B leagues as well, in theory.
I have invited some more voices to help us with division hopping. Please welcome Korek.
Oh, fantastic. Exactly what we're looking for.
How are you doing tonight?
Depending on if my headset works, that'll depend on my answer.
Well, looks like you're on.
Yeah, it looks like your headset is working.
Okay. It was on and then it just flaked out. So I didn't really expect a hard crash from a headset. That's a new one.
The way technology be moving, we're like going forward but also going backwards at the same time. Shout out to those AWS mattresses that when AWS went down, they went to like a really uncomfortable position and overheated because they didn't have an offline mode.
Yeah, I'm much more of a Luddite on some of those things, like a smart door. No, give me a door that my key works in. Don't try and make it fancy.
All right,
Well,
so let's.
planning on just climbing up the standings here. Any comments on the C2 division?
It's kind of what you expect overall. A little higher deal-in average, a little lower on the win average, but it's really the deal-in rate is the important metric here. Of course, Koichi has been up and down a few times, but near the C divisions most of the way. Just a ridiculous 25.1 win and 9.3 deal-in. You see, our EV stat, we always say it's not a hard and fast rule, but it's pretty good as a measurement. And it definitely suggests it.
I just want to shout out one quick thing here. No jinx, but Koichi currently with 0 fourth places this season. If you complete an entire Armel season with 0 fourth places, you win the Ladder Award, a prestigious award that has only been given out to a few players, and it's one of the awards that I most desperately want to win, but I always seem to get a 4th place.
Just don't get fourth. Seems easy enough.
Yeah, really easy. Just don't get fourth.
All right. C1 division is next. Who from C1 should we choose? How about, because we have to pick a name in order to spawn the division. How about the league leader? The division leader, rather. Tess.
All right, Tess from RIT.
Up the top.
Disgusting, super defensive player. Definitely not the type that I like. But that 19% call rate, it hurts my eyes just to look at that.
Of course, Korak famous for having more than double call rate. But yeah,
Yeah, I think I'm on a lower call rate this season than normal. I think it's only 39.5%.
Lower than normal. That's still higher than mine on the ladder. That's like 10%.
Last season, I think I was 48.
Oh, okay.
As is, though, we've got a nice crew of folks that's going to be looking to be promoting this season. Of course, still a lot to go. This is just the start of the session 6, and so we'll have another stream next week with the standings a lot more filled out. But Tess looking to finish off the season with another double promotion into the B2 division. Michael on the bubble for that mark as well, so we'll be watching him closely. And in terms of the rest of the promoting players, Steve, Michael O, Fangming, also remember playing against him in the IORMC qualifiers. Will, well-known player as well in the open tournament scene. Yicheng as well, similar story.
Have you...
Remy, I'm gonna say Remy, even though I know that's not quite actually right. A lot of these players that I've gotten the chance to play against. I'm looking forward to seeing who's actually going to get the bump up into the next division.
Have you...
talked about it a bit, but just because you don't see the plus arrow there, even if you don't end up in the top 6, you are likely to get a promotion anyway. The ordering is guaranteed promotions and then double promotions from 2 below, and then everyone else. There has generally been spots for everyone. Now, Edwin has suggested that is going to be less true this season. How much less true? We don't know.
Now, we got a sneak peek at that last season when there were fewer promotions, bonus promotions at divisions than there were historically. So you can sort of predict that that will go down and down as the league continues to fill up, unless we get an expansion. And that's always exciting. I mean, I know there's a bunch of people joining this season, so who knows? We might be able to
Well,
see that.
how long did it take to get from C2 from when we started teasing C2? What, 6, 7 seasons?
Okay, so maybe we're a little bit away from the next expansion.
We're probably a distance away, unless we just have a flood of people, which is always possible.
6,
Well-
7 seasons. You mentioned earlier, a lot of players that are known in the tournament scene joining into Armel. I know before it's been said there's been there's been a little bit of a transition pain between playing online to playing in person. Have you seen as much happening for the other way around, going from tournaments to Armel?
I think Korak's well equipped to answer that one.
The answer is yes. It's sticking to a schedule and being able to focus online that tend to have a lot of problem for people, because if you're playing live, a lot of what you're looking for is the human interaction aspect, and unless you're just sitting in a voice call with the other players, you're not going to get the same kind of engagement. Now, in terms of high level play, it's definitely the way to go. But some people just have problems focusing, and I've seen some do very well, some do okay, and some do very poorly.
Yeah, I think it comes down a bit to where you have the most experience as well. There are players that are very good over in live play because they can read the body language and the eye movement and track other physical aspects of the game, and they just have so much experience that that really enhances their game, and you miss some of that in the online scene. However, there's a lot of players that are very comfortable in the online environment that track things like pause time, lag time, and other things like that that you only really see in the online environment, and so they have a little bit of an advantage in that regard. Of course,
Yes, namely a Nathaniel would definitely fall under this category.
also gotten
One
burned
of
by
the
that
things
before.
I see a lot of people that actually do struggle with, after the first couple games, they get the hang of it. But of course, if you're playing on Ricci City or Mahjong Soul or even Mahjong Fight Club, much less common in the Western scene, but there are a few out there that have played it. The Joris Shine,
Mm.
and you see weight counts and all sorts of other neat tips that'll help you. And we don't have those. So I have suggested to everyone who joins, play a practice game on Tenho. It's a little different. The one thing I'm glad is that people have not really had problems getting into Tenho, because the interface has become much better for an English side than it was, especially 5 years ago. We started League 4 years ago now, and it's not really been a barrier to anyone that I've seen.
That's great. Just remember, folks, if you're new to Tenho, there's an option to disable right-click Tsumogiri. I'm just throwing out there. No particular reason for that. It's not like I missed a Hanuman Sumo this season because I accidentally hit the right-click button and Tsumogiri'd my Tenpai.
Yeah, that's definitely not something that's happened every single season in Armel history at least once to you.
I mean, there are seasons where I even would turn it off religiously and then like restart my computer, my cookies would reset, and it would turn back on. I wouldn't realize it until I did that Simulgidi thing and got punished once again. So, folks, just keep it throwing that out there. It is an option that's available to us. And
But anyway, getting back to C1 here, I see some very low deal ends.
Oh.
Oh, we're heading up to B3
I
now.
didn't realize we're still talking about it.
Go back to C1.
We're
Go
going
back to
back,
C1. There's no time. There
All
we
right.
go.
I was going to say, so we do see a much higher deal in a very aggressive league. The way I'm seeing here, the win rate is very high. The deal in rate is really high. You see a bunch of 20s near the bottom here. It's go, 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 fight, fight, fight. So it's certainly action packed.
And I think certainly if you're in this division and you're playing solid mahjong, solid fighting mahjong, but folding when you just don't have the goods, then you should do pretty well.
All right, let's move on. Move on up to B3 now. Let's highlight my favorite player, Alex B, or Caleb, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'd already picked one because there's a recent announcement from Caleb's club. The Oklahoma club has actually announced a tournament for next year in March in
Oh,
Oklahoma.
are we gonna talk about Open Richie on the stream?
Well, at the very
Please
least,
no.
I just wanted to shout out that there is a tournament happening in Oklahoma for the first time, an open tournament in a long time, and really exciting stuff there. It's only 64 person cap, I believe, so make sure you get your entry in if you want to hop into that. I know at least a quarter of people have already registered for that. That was like on day one, so I don't know what the registration looks like now. But hey, fantastic to see more moshing happening in the middle of the U.S. And Caleb doing quite well here in the B3 division alongside Tyler and Peter up at the top, all over 100 points.
Yes, Peter from Charm City Ricci has been doing a lot for the club, and it's good to see him doing that. 27% win rate, dominating the division, but couldn't hold on to the plus 200, so will not be eligible for the double promotion. Now all games in.
Yeah, fantastic stuff, though. Currently leading the division. On the lower side of the promotion zone, Sean, Alex, Mary Jane, really tightly contested. Alex is in the books, though, with 24 games.
Well, I mean, how can you talk about this division without one name just jumping out at you? Pio. Everyone knows him.
Yeah, Pio, known for division hopping, and it always just has the best games to stream. You know something crazy is going to go down when Pio's in the game. So hopefully we get a chance to watch Pio play the last 4 games of this season, see if he jumps into that promotion zone with 4 games yet to play.
Oh, like say Lewis has some amazing stats here, but only in fourth, largely because of only 16 games played. So probably some scheduling issues in there. But great win percent, great deal in percent. The EV crazy, absolutely dominating the division overall, but a few less games.
It looks like the relegation zone is going to be tightly contested. One table has stopped with 1 game remaining right on the cut line. That's going to be drama. That's going to be exciting to see how things shake up at the end of the season.
Sway and Ryan at 23 games just tickling that the demotion zone there.
Yeah, Josue with that 27.1% win rate is fantastic, but has had a game or two with some high value deal-ins and ended up dropping down the standings as a result. But overall, very strong player. I played against him in the finals of the North Texas Ricci Open, so you don't get there by accident. Very, very good job by Josue. And we'll see if he can escape this small hole here in the B3 division.
Overall, slightly aggressive division. Higher win average, higher deal in average. Not absolutely crazy like C1 was, but definitely more on the aggressive side. Though it's mainly because of Ricci's. Look at the call rate, a little lower, and the Ricci rate significantly higher. So definitely trying to build a little bit of value. And you can see the average slightly above league average, but it feels like basically kind of what you'd expect for B3. Just a little more aggressive. Some of the defensive tools aren't in there, but they're learning and they're going and they're fighting.
All right. Player of choice for B1. A lot of good candidates in this division.
We gotta do B2 first.
Oh, you're right. I highlighted B2 and then I thought that we were looking at B2 because all these players are players that I expect to see up in that division. Hoping they'll promote there eventually. All right.
I remember some of y'all mentioning that there's so many good players that are entering Armo now that what used to be the A1 standard is now kind of becoming A1 and A2, and then meanwhile B1 is what you would expect out of A2 in a typical season.
That's so fantastic that we can have that conversation.
Well, the whole point of the league was to get the United States talent pool deeper. I'd say it's been a rousing success on that end.
Absolutely. All right, so for B2, I think you got to pick, again, the top of the division because look at this number.
344.2, 4 games left to play, 1,268 EV, 26.6% Ricci rates.
31.
Correct, avert your eyes.
31.9% win rate, and there's a high dealer rate to go to accompany that, but when you're winning this many hands and your dealings are only for 3,750 on average, I mean, you're just going to be dominating.
Yeah, just pure aggression going for it, and DC reaching Mahjong in spots 1 and 2 because that's Mistford in second place, I believe.
That's right, locked in.
So they've definitely been taking care of business here in B2. Of course, other names jumped out. Honley's been in the league for a long time. It's kind of bounced up and down. He's in B2 right now, looking to go up.
Yeah, I also want to shout out Takahiro at 60.9 here. Has locked in his season 10 first places, but it's been so up and down. Only 8.9% dealing, and that wasn't good enough to lock in a promotion spot. This B2 division was wild.
Looking at that division average, it is below the league average for deal-ins.
I want to point out something really quickly for this division. You'll notice both Barb and Josh over 200 points. And yet no double arrow showing up. That's because when you've hit the B2 division, double promotions are no longer available because you are not allowed to double promote from the B League into the A Leagues. And you could be going from B2 directly to A2. And so from this point on, you got to go one league at a time. But there's not much longer to go to get up to the A2 and A1 divisions. And I'm kind of scared to face these players when they get there.
Any
Just
additional words about this
overall,
division?
I was going to say Barb and Josh. You can see the EV. They're in complete control here. I will say Laura had talked about being in the bottom division for a while, about how chaotic it is. Well, she's getting up towards B2 now and starting to see a little more standard play. You can see the very relatively high win percentage and pretty ideal in percentage. And I believe she's on the ARA board now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
representing Texas Mahjong. Yeah,
Isn't she the boss of Aura? A boss of Aura?
I mean, kinda. Definitely handles so much of the media that gets shared with the internet in general. Manages all of the Instagram and the just general social media. And so if you see something coming out of the American Ricci Association, it's probably coming from Laura. She compiles a lot of the photos that players send from their club events and from anything else around Mahjong related in the US, and does a fantastic job sharing that with everybody in the online Ricci scene.
Also, do see Laura very active in the ARA Discord whenever a club gets a new member through the ARA system, then us, the club leaders, have to approve them as a new member, and Laura's always sending out notifications for that. It is a underappreciated job, but always appreciate getting the notification, even if Milwaukee Club hasn't gotten any new members yet.
Hey, you're in Wisconsin, folks. There's a Milwaukee Club, so check it out.
All right, let's head to B1 then.
Okay,
Into B1, 19 players.
I'm gonna pick a player.
Let's highlight Ty. Let's highlight Ty.
We have to highlight Ty. Ty has been doing such a fantastic job for the league as a broadcaster. I used to do the vast majority of the streams in recent seasons, but Ty came in and has been sharing duties now, and it's been so fantastic to have two players broadcasting. That means that in the future, maybe we could even get more days than just our regular Wednesday broadcast. But not only has he been carrying the broadcasts, but also look at the score: 90 points in the promotion zone of the B1 division, looking to head to A2.
Whole bunch of very strong tournament players here. The first thing that jumps out of me, Kenyon and Cade at number 1 and 2. You're in any tournament with either of those, you're not shocked if they're in the top 4, or if they're running away with it for that matter.
Two players that played in the World Ricci Championship that was held in Tokyo this year. So definitely going to be tough competition. I think they recently just had a series against each other, and that was fun to watch on stream.
Now, do not tell Ty this, because I think it's a little bit of a nice quirk, but you can tell if it is Ty or Nathaniel broadcasting by looking at the fonts in the commentator box and the ticker. That's just a little thing, and I hope that doesn't get fixed. I think it's a cute little Easter egg.
Yeah, I think that historically speaking, even when there were other broadcasters, everyone has their own little twist on the general layout. Sometimes it's a different tile back, sometimes it's a little bit different font, a little bit different coloration. I do enjoy the little bit of unique energy that each broadcaster brings.
If
On,
there used to be one person who broadcasted from the Windows client, because
I wouldn't be surprised.
Stanley did for a while.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I
Anya
remember seeing
doing
that for a bit.
Mhm. Anya in third place, also aiming to move up to the A2 division. It's going to be interesting, this battle for the fifth spot. Right now, Steven holding the spot at 86.5 with a few games to play. But look, Mohan, Jesse, Noel, these are three players that are going to be gunning for that spot. Positionally, they are very aware. And aggression, no fear if the spot demands it. And so we will see some exciting games in the B1 division to see who's going to get that promotion.
Yeah, when I think of people in this division, I think of hyper aggro fighting all the time. Even on the other end, Kayla, Joe, Kaz, Dennis. And the deal in rate of this division's low. The win rate's low. I'm trying to figure out because it's just messing with me a bit.
Yeah, I feel like I know Corey, you and I go way back in the looking at the standings, but the B1 division has historically been weird because there are always a fewer players than the rest of the divisions, and the players that ended up in the B1 division always had very unique play styles. Like they were always any type of play style that you can imagine. It was found in the B1 division. That means every game was different. You couldn't really settle into a pattern. And I think at this point we are starting to get a bit more pattern, a normality to the chaos here. But still, there's a wide variety of play styles, both on the aggressive side, the sort of AI perfection play style, the defensive side, to watch the other players and react to them, ignore other players and play your own hand style. So B1 starting to become more normalized. Maybe that's why we are starting to see that the stats are normalizing as well.
Let's move on. Do we have any more comments about B1?
I think we can head to A2.
Let's head up into A2 then. Why don't you highlight yourself
It's certainly
or highlight
easy,
I
highlight
think
Garth
that
instead?
Nathaniel
Highlight
guy's
Garth.
been doing pretty well, so
certainly easy to find. Um, all right, A2 division. Now, one thing you'll notice is a little bit different here. Only 4 promotion spots. And that's because the A1 division is diminished in size this season, so only 4 will demote out of that season, only 4 will promote, unless there are somehow a miraculous bonus promotion. And that means that these promotions are going to be tightly contested.
yes, and as we've been saying, there are better chances for extra promotions the lower you are. Well, in A2, sometimes you'll get 1, occasionally you'll get 0, rarely you'll get 2. So you want to lock one of those spots up. What happened last season was a bunch of A1 people went on hiatus. I think it was 5 or 6.
Mm.
And the result, Edwin took a look at it and said, I can't promote other people. This is going to be a disaster. So shrunk A1 temporarily to 16. And the result you see here with 4 players, Zhangyu, Jay, Aaron, and Garrick. Honestly, I'm not surprised by any of these.
No, Jay, Aaron, and Garrick, of course, all have played in A1 before, so it wouldn't be surprising to see them pop back up. Xiangyu, his first time, I mean, he's been on the rise lately, and I played against him this season early. Just could not lose. Even when other players got to Tenpai first, he would find a way to get to Tenpai, even on a Tonki, and then just snipe the win away. And so has had an absolutely fantastic season. I've watched him play a lot over the course of this league, and I really, really, really want to see how he fares in A1 because he's got something to his playstyle that just sort of counters what you try to throw at him.
And A2 is particularly brutal this season because of all the people that were sent down last season. I see here Jonathan, Max, Lucas, Garth, Jen, Rachel, Irie, Tucker. Everyone in this division is plenty scary. And with only 4 spots, you can see even the demotion fight here. Garth, Lucas, and Julian. Those are all A1 players.
Absolutely. I mean, this is going to be an absolute dogfight. This is such a tough division this season, but I am rooting. In the case that I don't make it up, that we do see some fresh faces in the A1 division. We have, of course, Xiangyu, as mentioned, leading the division, but Ari's not far behind. Bin Yi, super strong player that I find it really tough to play against. Will's been there before. Max, you've been there before. Jonathan as well. Tucker. I think that's all the positive players, but Ari and Bin Yi have chances to squeak in. It really depends on how these final four games go, and really anything could happen.
Overall, a little lower Ricci rate than average, but way lower win rate and a little lower dealing rate. So similarly, fairly passive. When I see the number of Snake players in here, I'm not that surprised. Especially Will is definitely on the defensive end of the Snake Shack. So I'm not surprised to see division averages here. It just Zhang Yu's this obvious outlier with 28% win rate.
All right. So from the A2 division, we go to that smaller
Let's
sized.
let's move on to A1, and obviously there's only one correct answer for a player we gotta highlight. This whole season it has been who's gonna challenge Arthur, and Arthur's just been leading the division since like almost the beginning of the season. Actually, it's always been second place or third place coming up to challenge Arthur, and then Arthur does some miraculous thing that like sends them even lower down the standings than
Like
they started before.
like winning a
So
Cheetoy?
winning a winning a cheat toy, which is rare.
I
Um,
Let's see, how many have I won this season? It can't be more than 2.
so
That's already
so Arthur.
infinitely more than many than you usually get, right?
So
That's
Arthur.
about what I usually have, but it's just been a really lucky season, and I'm just like, please don't choke.
No, really, it
So
just comes down to the games.
Arthur's been leading the division by around 105 points going into A1. This would be the first A1 championship for Arthur. So really, maybe a lot of tension riding onto this session 6. Korek, do you have anything to say about Arthur?
That guy's a moron.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
You
No, I
probably have
think the obvious thing to jump out there's no way around it. It's the deal in and the deal in average.
Yeah, I mean 7.6 dealing percent is crazy, but to have that alongside a 2,621 average is just crazy. You are not going to get super punished in your games when you're dealing into these numbers. Is that in part due to just dodging the expensive hands, or are you feeling a little bit lucky with the Uda?
It's it obviously all of the above. The thing that's really helped this season is my Riches haven't really backfired. If I'm losing to someone else sumoing and I'm not dealing in on them.
Mm.
So that's helped immensely. My win rate's much higher than I'm normally used to, but that's often me just shutting hands down. So you
Well,
see, the highest win average is Bianca, who's actually in demotion zone.
yeah, and you see a lower win
No, hold
percentage.
on, it's Matthew by just a little bit more.
Okay, but very close between the two of them. Um, and yeah, Matthew actually still positive despite getting sniped by Steve for Yakuman. Still hanging in there with a big win average. So,
Well,
well,
Steve has been in the demotion zone all season, and then that Yakuman finally pulled him out, and he's even in the positives now. But this is something we've talked about since, or we haven't talked about, and I think about it, in like 3 years, is A1 with a 16 player setup is just tough.
you don't
There's no way around it.
you don't miss
Everyone is
anybody.
scared.
Yeah, you will play every single player, and it will, your results will reflect in the numbers. And so, yeah, I really like the vibe. I wish I got to play in it this season, but it's intense when you have a small group of players like this. And one thing we haven't talked about yet is how the championship points factor in this. So at the end of the season, we'll go to the year-long championship, playoffs. It'll be the first time we're using a playoff system. It will be an 8-player playoffs where there are 4 players that enter via winning the division each season. And that is currently Bhatti, Nathaniel's myself, Brian, who won last season, and then the winner of this season will get an automatic qualification into the finals there. But then beyond that, you are gaining points every season to see who can climb into one of the remaining 4 spots. And currently leading the list there with 29 points is Dustin. Next in line, if we skip the championship winners, is Matthew with 27, and then Stanley with 20, and Barry with 14. And if you are one of the players in this division, you are not only doing math to see if you can make it to the top of this division and just get an automatic bid, but also if you can pass one of those other players that's on the bubble. Right now, Barry's looking to pick up, if things stay the same, 9 points, and so it's kind of at a virtual 23, which would surpass Stanley in the standings. And so Stanley, who's on hiatus this season, won't have anything to say about that. But if you are playing against him and you are, say, a David or you're a Harrison who's just behind, you're going to want to hop Barry and send him lower in the standing to try to surpass to claim that spot for yourself.
Yes, and one of the important things is it is unlikely that this season's champion will be one of the people on the bubble or who has already won. So that they are effectively bid stealers, whether it be Claire, me, or of course even someone else coming back like Harrison.
Yeah, we did see actually 2 games from Harrison's table earlier today. We didn't get to broadcast those, but we do have the results.
Well, we can see it here. Brian did the best at the table, and on the other end, Dustin took a bit of a hit here and is looking in a lot of danger of demotion now. 2 games left and 100 points clear of the cut line.
Yeah, it's going to be
This is-
tough.
This is how I know I could never play an A1. Y'all are talking about hitting specific goals, trying to get a certain amount of points to get people above or below you to modify the points, and I would just go into this game like a positive expected value. But it just goes to show like how talented everyone at the top of Armel is.
I think it's also important just to say that the styles are very different. It's not like there's this is the metric, because that's kind of the idea behind Snake Shack, especially, is they want to line up as much behind the AIs as possible. You also have very call heavy, greedier players. You have pure value, build it, slam it, move on. You have very defensive players. Look at Bisha and that participation rate.
That's always a standout.
36.4% and not in demotion.
They're playing
Pretty
almost
much.
a third of the hands and staying out of trouble. I mean, not a lot of first places this season, but that's because there are 10 second places. It's been number 2 quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely taking care of that Rentai. Simon is always a boomer bust player, and it's been a bit of a bust this season. Usually he's had enough sessions to overcome his bad ones, but it just hasn't happened here. Though he's the same type of person that I would not be shocked to see go plus 200 in his final session.
We've seen him get some crazy single session totals. It might just need to be 100 points and then take those points off of somehow Bianca and Alfred. But, it's not impossible when there's 4 games yet to be played.
Yes, we're getting up on the end of the season here. This will be the end of year 4 for Armel.
That's right. Of course, we still have one more Wednesday broadcast, and then beyond that, it will just be the playoffs. So hopefully we'll get broadcasters lined up for that and share as many of those playoff games with y'all. It should be quite fun. Certainly the championship game when that gets scheduled as well.
Well, it won't be championship game. It'll be 2 championship series and then a final series. We'll try to get as many of those as possible. But overall, it's just the depth of the league, the way things are cutthroat, especially at the top right now. Everything is pressure, and everyone feels it right now.
Absolutely. And
I may be on top, but I'm feeling immense pressure to avoid choking here because I've been close so many times.
of course.
I can hear it in your voice, Korak.
Yeah, and that's part of what makes Session 6 exciting. That's what makes, this league exciting is that pressure exists, and it makes it all the more exhilarating, not only as a player, but as a fan of Riichi Mahjong and a viewer. So I cannot wait to see how things play out. Hopefully for your sake, it's very boring. But for the
Well, I'll
rest of
say
us,
everyone who is not Alfred or Bianca wants me to absolutely farm that table.
it's true. The more points you gain, the easier the conditions for other players. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting. Of course, we got to look through all the divisions. Best of luck to everyone playing to meet your conditions. I know we can't all get there. And if we miss it, I think there'll always be next season, of course. Cannot wait to catch next Wednesday, which might be our last broadcast of the regular season, and then off to playoffs. Should be an absolutely brilliant finish.
Yeah, that will probably do it for us tonight. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, American Ricci. Check out the website, AmericanRicci.org, or the YouTube page for all the replays. The sign up for next season did close. However, are you able to sign up for the season afterwards currently?
You're always able to sign up for the season afterwards. If you sign up earlier, then you may get lucky if they need to fill out a pool of 4. This has happened previously a couple times where, say, we had 27 people in a bottom division that, okay, well, one who wasn't going to get in will get in at that point. But first come, first serve on those. And one reason we didn't have as many games as we wanted is because the pairings actually took a while to get out for some of the snake rounds. So A1 through B1 have just been way delayed on some of their games. We should have a ton of them next Wednesday, though.
Yeah, next one's going to be crazy. Apologies, it was actually a little bit of my group's fault. My schedule was wild. In fact, all of our the players in my group had just the wildest schedule this past week, so we had to delay our games by a day. But we're in. We've got our rounds now. We're gonna start scheduling, and the games are gonna start pouring in. So definitely check out the website AmericanReach.org. There are standings, live standings, and you can check out even the games as they finish to see how exactly things went down, if you want to follow along with the exciting action, even on days where we are not broadcasting.
So good luck and stay strong. The pressure's coming.
Have a good night. Merry Session 6. Merry holidays. Have a good night.